Today is a really good day because my new best friend is on his way over here. You might remember Ryan from Grassroots Nursery. I met him when I was here visiting. You know how some people like to go to the Nordstrom shoe department and just shop around and look? It's a comforting thing for them and they just love it. Well, I'm that way with plant nurseries. So when I was here last time, I went on and I looked at all the plant nurseries in the area. Well, the nursery that had the most rave reviews was Grassroots Nursery. So I thought, you know what? I want to go on out there. So I went out there and I took my camera and I was kind of filming the plants and stuff because I just love that. I just love being all around the plants and seeing what's available, and you can pretty much tell what grows in an area by what the local nurseries have. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something, they're just going to have standard issue plants, but a local nursery that's really well done and well run, they're going to have plants that really work for the area. So I was out there walking around and filming, and this guy walks up to me, just a young, nice man, handsome man, and he says, "Oh, what kind of microphone is that?" And we started talking about my camera and that sort of thing, and he said, "You know, I have a YouTube channel." And I said, "I do too." Anyway, that ended up being Ryan, and he is the owner of Grassroots Nursery, which isn't in Aiken. It's in a town called Graniteville, which is only around, 10, 12 minutes away from here. So I explained to him that I was moving to the area, Aiken, and that I had rented a house that really needed a lot of help with the landscaping, and I'll show you guys in a few minutes. It's pretty desperate. And so we started talking, and he gave me a tour. He was just the nicest guy. Anyway, we ended up putting our heads together and deciding that we were going to work together on this project. So he's coming out this morning. He hasn't actually seen the property. I'm going to show you guys in just a minute. But we're going to walk around today. I'm going to express my concerns to him. He's going to have such great information because he's local. And when you're living in a different zone, it's completely different. I always gardened in California, so that's what I know, California gardening. This is different. The heat is different. The humidity is different. The soil is much different. So I'm really, really excited for him to come out because he's going to have so many great suggestions. Now, he's going to give me a game plan, I hope, and maybe even help with design. I'm going to be doing the labor. So everything that you see done on this property is pretty much going to be me. I might end up hiring like just a guy to help me one day or something to do things that I can't really do, lifting or putting things in places that I can't reach or that sort of thing, but pretty much it's all going to be my own. Now I'm going to show you the property front and back in just a few minutes, but I want to kind of talk about something that is not usually what I talk about on my channel, and that is a bit of a complaint. I really do try to look on the bright side and try to do that as much as I can, but there is an issue and there is a, kind of an honesty thing about what's going on. I rented this house from a property management company, and it's one of the biggest in the area by far. It's a real estate firm. They sell houses and they also manage properties. The gal that showed me this house, her name is Sissy. She's a realtor in town. She was wonderful. She really helped out. I don't think there was anything in it for her because she sells homes and this was a rental, so I'm not really sure why she ended up spending time with me, but she was so nice and so professional. I really enjoyed her. However, that's kind of where the good experience ended. When I showed up to this property, and mind you, I signed the rental lease a month before I showed up, so there was plenty of time to prepare this house. And the bottom line is that the property management company did absolutely nothing to get this house ready. 3 out of the 4 closets have no functioning closet rod. The house was not cleaned. The air vent is not cleaned. Nothing has been done. I mean, there's so much work that needs to be done around this property, and I've really had to kind of kick up a bit of a fuss. And the uncomfortable thing is that it would have been so much easier for everybody if they had just done it before I moved in. But they didn't. They just completely did nothing. They took my money, of course, and did nothing. So I showed up to a property that was a long way from being ready to be lived in, including the landscaping. And I'm going to show you the landscaping in a minute, and it really is in very, very sad shape. And unfortunately, most of the house was in the same condition. I've learned to work around it, and we're going to move forward and have a good time. But, you know, there is a place in life when you've got to step up and do what, you know, your job is. And unfortunately, that just wasn't taken care of by the property management company. If you're local here, I don't want to name the company, but it starts with an M and ends with an M. And if you know the area, you can probably figure that one out. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the landscaping now, and look at this, you guys. I explained to you when I was here last that the landscaping was in sad shape. I did think that they would at least address it a little bit in the month they had to get ready for me to move in here, and they actually did absolutely nothing. There are really 2 feet high weeds in the front lawn. I don't know if you can see it. The front lawn is totally patchy and not manicured or taken care of at all. There's 7 dead plants in the front planters. Absolutely nothing was done to prepare this house. So it's really unfortunate. The good side is that there's a whole lot of potential, which means it's got nothing going for it now. So we have a whole bunch of dead plants. These plants in these pots are dead. I don't even know why they put them out here, like it was a decorative element or something. There is this nice canna right here, so that's lovely. And then over here, there's this old, dirty, moldy bird bath. They didn't clean it out or anything. Now, those plants right there belong to me. And I'm going to include them in the landscaping. Now I'm going to walk you around to the back, and one thing we're going to walk by is a whole bunch of cardboard, because I have been unboxing furniture and putting furniture away and haven't hit the trash day correctly yet. So this is the backyard area, and I was really excited about this for little Lucy Lou. What I have found out in the interim, and I didn't really realize I noticed it, but it didn't fully integrate into me. Can you hear the dogs barking next door? There is sand in this area. In other words, this used to be ocean in this area, and so there's just a ton of sand left over from that period of time in history on the earth. So this area is just covered in a top coat of sand. And what happens when little Lucy Lou comes out here is she literally gets covered in sand and then tracks it into the house. This can be addressed if there's a yard, if there's ground cover over this, and you can see absolutely nothing was done. It's just really, really sad. I mean, there's debris on the property. It's a shame, because this really could be so very beautiful. It's a large lot. It's almost a 1/4 of an acre. So I'm going to have Ryan talk to me about this area as well. Hopefully I can get the grass really growing here so it covers up all that sand, and little Lucy can come out here and play and not become just this sand ball when she comes to the house. The way that it is now is that if she plays out here, I've got to take her into the bathroom, completely wash her off before I can let her walk around the house, because otherwise it's just a horrific mess. And look there's my kayak waiting for me for the next journey. Look it's a little Lucy Lou. Hey Lucy Lou. Hey Lucy Lou. Are you making those dogs next door bark? Is that what you're doing? Are you making the dogs next door bark? Oh my goodness. So right now I am waiting for my new best friend Ryan to show up, and we're going to walk around and put together a plan to make this place absolutely stunningly beautiful, filled with flowers and gorgeous plants, and really quite the lovely property. Look, it's my new best friend. Hey Ryan, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
Oh gosh, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. It's about time you get back.
I am so excited Ryan is here. This place needs so much help. And he agrees.
It does. Yeah, we got our work cut out for us for sure.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Let's give ourselves a little bit of perspective here. Is that driving up is depressing. I mean, this is not fun to look at.
Yeah, we got to spruce this up and make it welcoming. When you pull up,
Yeah.
you're glad to be here, and yeah, it needs some work.
So I've already started buying plants because apparently I have a problem.
Welcome to the club.
I have a plant buying problem, and my new best friend is like my best hookup.
We're gonna be trouble, but
Yeah, we're gonna be trouble. So shall we walk out to the very front, and you can kind of give me some idea about what you think is going to be our best bet. So we'll kind of walk over here in the shade.
It's so hot while you've been gone.
I know.
I mean,
And
hot.
no
rain.
water.
No rain.
Yeah.
None. It has just been a drought. And 105-degree days, 108 heat index. It's been bad.
That's hard on the plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And me, because I have to water everything.
Yeah. So what, I'm going to really rely on you.
Sure.
Clearly I have a background in landscaping,
Right.
but I owned the company. I didn't do the work.
Yeah.
And I had a designer, you know, so I was really doing more of the office stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to put in drip, but I guess I'm going to learn.
Yep. Yep. Because that's the first thing we always have to take into account is water, especially these past 3 weeks. If you didn't have a sprinkler system, everything's dead.
Yeah.
So we don't have one, so we got to take that into account. And then, you know, I'm not a big fan of grass. I don't think that you are either.
I'm not.
So maybe we'll
what's
kinda-
the point?
Yeah. Well, for Lucy, she likes it, I'm sure. But
Well, she can use that grass
yeah,
over
she
there.
can use the neighbors. So I think, you know, we'll try to eliminate some of the grass with beds and just bed it up, whether that be perennial or maybe do some garden if you want to. And then just kind of soften some of the corners and underneath the windows we'll put some low-lying shrubs, accents, you know, where you have tall sections of the house. We may bed up around your mailbox, or we'll change that up a little bit, but we need to spruce up the mailbox. And it's not a huge area, so I don't think it's going to require too much material. But I think the end results from where it is now,
Yeah, it's going to be pretty spectacular.
It's going to be pretty drastic.
Yeah. So are you thinking that we'll just, in the front yard area, and let me go ahead and give a little scene of this, and you guys can see behind me that the front yard is just, I don't know, what kind of grass is that?
That's the Heinz 57. That's 57 different varieties of weeds that you've got.
Did you hear him? He said it's Heinz 57 varieties of weeds, and that's the truth. So let's go look out in the back, because I have some questions about this.
Better make sure we put these ferns in some shade.
I want to hang it up, but I can't reach it. Okay, so here, this is just a personal dilemma. The reason I got this is so Lucy would have backyard to run around in. So if I just broadcasted it and then just kept watering.
Well, you've got a bunch. And I'm telling you, if you top dress with that compost, and this stuff gets a little food from the compost, a little organic fertilizer and water, it's gonna go.
Can you dump a load out here?
Sure.
And I can just wheelbarrow it in? And then these planter beds, they're always almost in shade. So I'm thinking hydrangeas, hostas, that sort of thing.
When you have a part sun situation, not a full sun or a full shade, it opens up, you know,
The potential.
yeah, so many more
Yeah.
plants that you can utilize.
So this area right over here, I'm going to do container gardening, because once that sun, I get some sun. So this is where I'm going to do all my container gardening out here. So maybe I'll just mulch it, have all my containers out here.
You're gonna have a hard time, like if you try to do tomatoes, anything that needs a lot of sun, to a lot of energy. We could try it.
Well, one place I was thinking that might work is this area here, because it ends up in down the fence line.
So I say let's start over here.
Okay.
Because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do at the mailbox. And I'll just throw out some ideas, and you tell me if you like them. We can change them. We got a blank slate right now.
Okay.
But to eliminate as much grass as possible, we need real wide bed, and we'll just kind of sweep them around the yard. So I say we start probably right here,
Okay.
and we'll do maybe a 15-foot wide, nice curved bed that we'll plant with some shade plants,
All right.
and then mulch it super thick, and kind of give a little elevation change to it. You know, like a raised, not a raised bed, but up above this level.
Okay.
So curve around, kind of tuck up in here, come down through here. We'll curve out from the concrete corner
Okay.
to kind of soften that up.
Oh, I like that idea.
Curve out through here. We'll sweep in where Miss Lucy is a little bit.
Okay.
And then maybe what we'll do, Miss Kim, is just kind of make one continual bed, and then we'll sweep around.
I like that. And then we just have this little
And you
kind
just
of
have a
keyhole.
little keyhole of grass.
Oh, I love that
I
idea.
think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Pine straw around here, because we are in pine tree country, and for the longest time, and still, it's readily accessible. And people would go rake their yards, they just rake the pine straw into the bed, that was your mulch. And it lasts a long time. I hate it because it's itchy. I grew up playing in it. There can be red bugs in it. I dislike pine straw, and I'm in the mulch business, so I don't carry pine straw at Grassroots. I only carry mulch. Mulch does a lot better job of retaining the moisture. Pine straw can breathe too much, light gets through it, and you lose all that moisture. Plus, there's no organic benefit to the pine straw.
And that's important.
Sure. Yeah, we want to add back to the soil.
Want to add to the
I mean,
soil.
there's a tiny bit, but nothing is negligible.
Ryan and I have headed out to the nursery. He is such a cool guy. I just want to tell you, not only is he just so very pleasant and warm and kind, but he is just such an incredible businessman. He has a business for so many different things. He has a company for mulch, he has a company for compost, he has a company for sand. He just is so creative and just so very interested in the world around him. He's just fascinating to talk to. So we're going to go around now and talk about the different plants that we're going to use in the different areas. He's going to give me some really good instructions on how to put this project together, and hopefully he can recommend somebody that's going to help me. I'll tell you what, you guys, I was going to join a gym this week. I think I better wait until after I do the labor for the landscaping.
We could do some gardenias. I mean, you can't have a southern garden without a few essential plants, and gardenias is one of them.
It's against the law to not have gardenias.
It is, and we don't want to get you in any trouble. So we've got to have some gardenias here.
And Lord knows I'm going to follow the rules.
So that'll add tremendous fragrance to the yard, and they're evergreen. They're just a cool plant. So we'll slap a couple of these in for sure.
Boy, your inventory out here is so beautiful.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard though, because then we've got to choose, from all the plants, and that's difficult for me. So we could go with some loropetalum to kind of add. These are evergreen. Most cultivars get huge. So we're going to pick a few dwarf loropetalums to give us that purple evergreen or ever purple foliage, and that'll contrast well with some of the greens and lighter greens that we're going to use.
Okay. I could literally spend my life walking through nurseries. I really love the color of this.
Yeah.
Tell me again what the name of this is.
So this is Sunshine Ligustrum.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful, and this evergreen as well. But it's got nice, light, airy foliage.
It does.
And it really pairs well with the loropetalum that we were just looking at.
Now the loropetalum behind you looks like a different colorway than the one on the end.
It is. So this is a variegated.
I almost like that because you've got a little bit of tones that coordinate together.
Complement, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would definitely be a cool combination too. So the thing I like to try to do is combine deciduous with evergreen, because in the winter you don't want just an all dead bed in your yard.
Yeah.
So we'll throw some of these buddleia in, or butterfly bushes, to give us that all summer color, and then we're going to throw some evergreens in too to complement and give us something to look at during the winter.
Okay. If you are in the Aiken area, you have got to come out here. It is so incredibly beautiful. Look at this pond. Asiatic jasmine. I don't think I've heard of this.
So it's a ground cover. However, if given something to climb, it will attach itself and climb slowly. But this particular variety is called Snow in Summer. So it's variegated, but all summer long, all the new growth is white and pink.
Beautiful.
Really nice little ground cover. So we're gonna try to find a spot to throw a couple of those.
Would that be good around the mailbox, that it might start trailing up the mailbox?
It would. Now it doesn't really trail, it sticks and goes up.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be a cool one for out by the mailbox. That's actually a great idea.
One of my favorite plants on the planet forever and ever is hydrangeas, and look at these. These are just so stunningly beautiful. And he has such a gorgeous selection.
This one is a new one called Purple Magic. I like the color of the blooms there, and 6 to 10 feet tall, so that would be a good
that would
one
be perfect.
for up there by the house, in between the windows.
I'd love that.
And even in the wintertime, crepe myrtles just have such cool structure. It'll give us something to look at. The bark kind of peels, and I think that will be what we'll put between the windows. That is deep. The Biltmore Estate
Yes.
up in Asheville,
Mhm.
old, just beautiful property. So long years ago, the guy spotted a sport or a deformed limb coming out of a white pine way up high, and they couldn't get to it, so they hired a marksman to come in and shoot it out of the tree, and then they grafted it onto rootstock. And this is one, one of the offspring of that. So this is called Biltmore Blue.
Wow.
It's a dwarf, just a neat little blue colored white pine.
Well, Ryan and I have hatched a plan on how to transform the front of that property into something that's a little less than desirable to something absolutely spectacular. I'm so excited. So we have a step-by-step plan. We are putting everything in motion, and we'll be getting it all together in the next several weeks. I'm so thrilled about this. You know, the neat thing about doing landscaping is that it makes such a huge impact, really, for not that much of an investment. It's going to take some manual labor, and that's okay. And I'm going to learn how to put in a drip system, which I have used drip for years. I've never put it in. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. But I'm really thrilled about the plant choices that Ryan gave me, the whole process of putting it together. He even did some design work on the front yard to really soften up the edges and make it look so much more attractive. I just really can't wait to see it all put together. We're going to work together, Ryan and I, on doing all the installation, getting the compost down, putting the drip system in, doing all the planting and everything. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this fun, useful, and helpful. I know I love hanging out with plants. I hope you do too. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with me. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make it a great day. I'm going to linger around the plants a little bit longer, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.